Hi everyone, welcome back to The Lift with Sheila Robinson-Kiss. Your auntie Sheila is in the house, and we're going to start out today as we always do, same way, making your wish. You know, this is the channel, mental health, movement, motivation. We are growing every day, so I rely on all of you to get the word out to your friends and family. Come take a walk with me. So start out, gonna make your wish. Keep in mind wishes, hopes, dreams. I'm so delighted that they're coming true every single day. So go ahead, I'm making my wish. All right, shall we start to walk? Let's go. It's a beautiful day. I can tell you that the fall weather is gorgeous. It finally broke. It was an incredibly hot summer. So this is my favorite kind of weather to put on our shoes. You can see, got the gym shoes on here, and get out and let's walk. The walking is symbolic of staying on the track of life. So today we have a wonderful topic that we're going to get into, and that is forgive yourself. Forgive yourself, whatever it is, when you are riddled with guilt, shame, regret. You guys, it pulls you down into a black hole. And so I want to share with you the inspiration for today's message. Came from long-time subscriber Michael. Thank you so much. Shout out. I do appreciate you. Sent me a note, and this one really struck me a bit. Very interesting what he had to share. That he ran into an ex-girlfriend. They didn't rekindle per se, but ended up having a very long conversation with her, and they're still in touch on and off. And she shared with him that after they went their own separate ways, it was so devastating for her, not necessarily the breakup itself, but how it was done really sent her on a spiral. Her drinking issue got worse, and it was just a very rough period in her life and led to some tough stuff. Now, Michael specifically asked me for advice on really forgiving himself, because as you had put it, Michael, you were a different person then, and you didn't handle the breakup well. Your words, not mine. It was cruel how you ended it, and you're a different person now, very, very remorseful. And the guilt to run into her and to see the challenges, more or less how her life turned out, has been very difficult for you. I'm a human being. Sometimes we do things we're very proud of, and sometimes because we are human beings, we do things that do throw us, in retrospect, in hindsight, into deep levels of shame and regret. Please, everyone, as you're listening to this message, do not misunderstand my intent. The message is not to let anyone off the hook for behavior, quite frankly. Maybe you should regret it. Maybe you should be ashamed of it. But what I'm trying to do is to help you realize that on this evolutionary path, we are here to learn, we are here to grow, and without a doubt, most of us, including myself at one time or another, have been sorely out of touch with the impact that our behavior, what we do, how we do it, what we say, the impact that has in other people's lives. But part of maturing and growing is realizing, wow, I'm taking this walk, and I absolutely, my words, thoughts, and deeds not only impact me, but others. And that is why there is a place for saying some key words. I'm sorry. Will you forgive me? And also on the flip side, forgiving yourself. Forgiving yourself. It is absolutely key, because an inside of authentic remorse, I believe with all my heart that the Father above forgives us always. But again, the caveat here is that it's inside authentic remorse. Before I get into the steps here, we're at root tree number 1, and I'm going to ask you, we're going to get 2 double wishes today. Go ahead and make your wish. We're at root tree number 1. Shortly, we're going to be approaching root tree number 2. So go ahead and make your wish. I just made mine. All right, let's keep going. I want to get into some concrete strategy and step to really speed healing and forgiveness of self. Okay? But wait a minute, now we're entering root tree number 2. So go ahead, you get a double wish today. Make that second wish. Could be a wish, a relationship wish, circumstance, health, elevation. All right, I've made my wish. Let's get into some of those strategies. First thing I want you to keep in mind, and this is really key, ask yourself an honest, it's a brutally honest question that I want you to get into. At the time that this situation occurred, maybe you said something you regret, you did something that you regret. What, looking back on my state of mind, because everything has to do with the state that you're in. If you want to understand more about spiritual states, life states, get into the work of Emanuel Swedenborg. There's a channel, it's called Off the Left Eye. The Swedenborg Foundation, I'm very involved with them. I love their work. It's a spiritual body of work that will bring you into a deep level of awareness about the power of states, your state of mind, and ask yourself, based on my state of mind in that moment, at that time, could I have done anything different or better? Could I have done anything different or better? And I'll tell you, 9 times out of 10, how most people answer that question is, you know what? I look back at it now and I can see how silly I was, but at the time I was operating at full throttle in that moment. If it felt right, I thought it was the right thing to do, and I went with it. And I can say for myself, you know, keeping it real, there's some incidents I cringe. It's cringe worthy. And I really thought, woo, I'm rocking and rolling. I thought I had it. There's been times where I've been unnecessarily rigid with circumstances, with people, and I thought it really felt like I was doing the right thing at the time. There were times that I let things take a pass. where the circumstance really should have been called out. Again, at the time, my state of mind, it really felt like this is the right thing to do. There have been times where people, I should have given them more concern and attention. I should have maneuvered in a different way. And again, in the moment, it escaped me. So you gotta go back and isolate my state of mind. Could I have done it better? And 9 times out of 10, that's going to give you a lot of clarity and insight, and hopefully pave the way for additional compassion of the self, because so often we extend that compassion and that warmth to other folks, and we do need to have this area of compassion for ourselves as well. Secondly, the second question I want you to really sit and ask yourself, if the circumstance happened again with who I am today, could I do it better? What would I do differently? Again, most people are going to answer that question, oh my goodness, yes. If the circumstance arose again, I would absolutely do it differently. And you know what that means? That means you learned. That means you learned a valuable lesson. So it was worth the entry price, the ticket that you paid for, if you will. And then lastly, when you're needing to move into very deep levels of forgiveness for yourself, and this is another critical question, ask yourself, where is this current state of mind, the shame, the regret, what is it doing for me? Some of you may say, well, I feel like I deserve to be punished. Okay, perhaps that's true. But you have to ask yourself, even people who go to jail, majority end up getting parole. They'll go in front of the parole board at some point. You have to ask yourself, number one, does the punishment fit the crime? And what I have asked people to do over the years who end up punishing themselves through isolation, deep states of despair, why don't you just get proactive, call it what it is, and say, you know what, I'm very sorry about this. I'm going to do something very specifically. I'm going to choose something and make up for it. Instead of every day waking up feeling bad, why don't you just pick something? You know what, I'm going to volunteer for 30 days. Okay, I'm going to go somewhere and volunteer. I'm going to do extra in my community. I'm specifically working through this energy. I feel like I need to counteract the negativity and toxic energy with very specifically, I want to put more good energy into the world. So isn't that a better way? Doing it on purpose, it's like a penance, if you will. I want to, in my own way, make up for this that I've done. See, that's targeted, that's very specific. And you end up forgiving yourself, and you're also putting out a lot of good energy in the world, guys. And that's what it's all about. Look, things have to make sense here. Things have to make sense. Now, if you find, here's the deal. If you find you keep having to go to the drawing board and forgive yourself over and over again for it's the same It's the same thing repeatedly. Sheila, I keep having to forgive myself for the same offense. Well, we need to start from scratch, because that means you're not learning it. Something is a payout. You're not really learning it. You're not really getting it. And to me, when you're really sorry and you get it, there's some things that just should not be occurring again, or at least it shouldn't be happening frequently. And then lastly, what I want to say, shame, regret, remorse, guilt, all of that, the extremely low vibration energy and emotions. And if they take hold and you can't pull yourself out of that black hole, that black spiral, it opens up other gates. I call these toxic gateways. And we have to be very careful with that energy. So this is it's a specific message. Sit with yourself, work the questions, put the information into effect. And as you know, I'm always coming back at you. This is your Auntie Sheila. We'll be back very soon with some more righteous, uplifting information. So get those shoes on, and I'll see you soon.